Hello everybody, this is WarriorDan, and welcome to Sid Meier's Civilization Free. Now this is a game that's certainly not new by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a game that's been pretty dear and near to my heart for a long time now. So I wanted to jump back into this retro classic and, just have a little bit of fun. So I don't know if we're going to make this into a full series, but I wanted to make this into a video at the very least. So we're going to start off this game by creating a world in which we would inhabit and grow out our country and create the biggest army the world's ever seen, create the biggest economy, that the world's ever seen. You get the big picture. So first thing we're going to do is decide on the landmass and water coverage in this world. Now this will basically decide, I should say, how big the continents are in the world and how much naval travel will be required in order to safely traverse from one island to the next. If you wanted to, you could make basically the entire playable world on one island, or you could split it up into a number of islands. Islands or continents, depending on the size. I should be a little bit more specific. I like to have everything on the same playing field. I don't really like the water areas in the game, so I'm going to keep it mostly intact in one continent. As far as climate, you can leave on, I personally like to leave on normal, I like to leave the temperature on temperate, and I like to leave the age at 4 billion. Now for barbarians add a little bit of a twist to the game. They're basically small encampments of indistinguishable enemies that can harass you and your enemies and just cause a little bit of mischief. And in return you can destroy their dens, I guess you could say, and get some small rewards for doing that. I don't like keeping them on. I don't think they add anything to the game, so I'm going to turn them off. I'm going to turn the world size to large because, well, you'll get the idea later. Now here's where you get to have the most fun. You get to pick out your civilization, what kind of country you want to be, what kind of leader you want to be. Two of my favorites are always Rome and where are you? India. There we go. I mean, come on, who doesn't like Gandhi? Now there are a couple reasons why you could pick Rome, India, or any other country. Every country has their own benefits and downsides. Rome is a very militaristic country. They have a strong emphasis on military, but they're not exactly the best when it comes to other aspects of the game like diplomacy. Meanwhile, India is known for being a very commercially successful country. It has a booming economy, so it's going to do very well in the economic sectors of the game. But it doesn't tend to do as well when it comes to military, the complete opposite of Rome. So if you're looking for a peaceful playstyle, or a more peaceful playstyle, I should say, India tends to favor the more defensive angle. I'm going to bypass reading all the others, and I'm going to pick Rome. Now, as for difficulty, for the sake of this video, I'm going to put it at the easiest setting, but I can always come back to this game and make it a little bit harder over time. So that said, I think we're ready to jump into the game. Let's go into a game and see what we got. Okay, so we're starting off, we have a worker and a settler. Now, settlers are probably the most important unit in the game. With settlers, you are able to build new cities. If a settler is captured by an enemy, they would essentially die, and the enemy would receive 2 new workers in place of that settler. Now I'm going to put my settler here because I don't happen to like setting up right next to a river. There are certain downsides that are associated with setting up right next to a river. So I'm going to have my worker here start building a road. You'll see why roads are important later, but for now let's focus on building our first town. Name this town... What should we name our town? You know what, just for the kid in me, I know what I'm going to name it. If you don't get this reference, I'm sad for you. I'm going to say build some workers, because we do need to start expanding fairly quickly. Now here's one of the game's most interesting aspects. We are looking at the Science Division. Now, the Science Division is what will essentially steer your civilization towards its ultimate success, or ultimately its defeat. Science allows your civilization to continue to stay relevant in the eyes of the rest of the world, and depending on your situation, depending on whether other enemies present a militaristic challenge to you, you do want to have the best technology and weapons at your disposal in order to fend off any unwanted visitors who may traverse in your lands, aka enemies. So I'm going to start working on bronze working. Now let's take a look at what that actually does. So here you can see that we have the ability to create great wonders like the Colossus. And we can also create early military units such as the Spearmen and other such. Now, some of the others featured alongside the Spearmen are exclusive to certain countries, but we are not those countries, so it doesn't really affect us. Okay, so we're going to start working on that. It's pretty slow, honestly, earlier in the game. You don't get a lot of super exciting activity. It's more later in the game that you start to really see where civilization tends to shine. Let's clear this forest. We're going to skip a couple turns while we wait. And we're going to build another road. Now that we have another worker, I'm going to focus on... No, I don't want to see what a warrior does. I think I can guess for myself. I'm going to take a look at building a settler. Okay, so I kind of skipped over that, but I probably shouldn't have. Culture is a big aspect of the game. What your citizens think of you and what other countries think of you does have a drastic role in the game. If you have a city, for example, that is surrounded by enemy cities, and your citizens don't really like you that much, you don't have a high approval ratings per se, and you don't have many scientific advancements, and you haven't really invested in improving your city's architecture, the citizens can decide to just overthrow you and give control of that city to your bordering enemy. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to try to make sure our people like us. The first way we can do that is stay on top of science and build our glorious empire. Okay, you go over there, and you go over here. I'm being a little bit cautious here because I don't really want to run into an enemy. This is very early in the game, and this is not the kind of time that I want to start seeing other countries. Okay, I'm going to send you actually over here because I want to see what's going on in the surrounding areas. Well, it looks like we have some water over there. That's actually quite nice because I do want to build some coastal cities. Having a coastal city will allow you to build boats and other such items, harbors and so on. Okay, so we finally built our first settler, and now we're going to continue our quest to expand to the far reaches of the world. I'm going to put this guy over here. Most units in the game, especially early on in the game, only move a certain amount of spaces, and it's very limited. Later in the game you do get units that can move farther distances, but we're not quite there yet. Now this guy over here, I'm going to have you start building a mine, and you buddy, I'm going to start building a road. Resources like sugar are a key way of keeping your people happy. You definitely want to have all the sugar in the world. Sugar and spice do tend to make everything nice when it comes to civilization, I've noticed. Okay, I'm gonna put a city here because I don't like being too far away from my capital city. Aw, I accidentally forgot to rename. Let's rename Vale. Let's say... Okay. There we go. We have 2-4. 2-4 is going to be one of our first non-capital cities. Okay, so we probably want to start building some defenses. So we've got a warrior here. I didn't even know we were building him, to be honest. We're going to set up some barracks. Now, what this will allow you to do is produce veteran ground units instead of regulars. Instead of having free health bars, as you can see right here with our warrior, it'll produce units that have 4 health bars, meaning they can take 4 hits before dying instead of, you know, just free. Okay, so barracks are now underway, thankfully. Let's have you fortify. By hitting F and fortifying him, this will increase your unit's likelihood of successfully fending off an attack if they are on the defensive. If a unit enters their territory and attacks them directly, having them in fortify mode will increase their likelihood of successfully defending. So we do want that. Okay, let's move you over here too. Okay, let's start building that road. Having multiple workers work on the same thing will increase the speed at which the production goes, I guess you could say. Okay, so we got bronze working done. Let's work on... what do we want? Yeah, iron sounds good to me. Okay, we have another settler on the way, so we better start finishing up this road here. Okay, so Riverdale has now produced a new settler, so we're going to send him on the move, as I'm sure you can guess. And we're going to start building some barracks there too. Do I want a coastal city, or do I want a city over here? You know what? I kind of want to go over here. Yeah, that looks good to me. Let's put down our city there and rename it. Okay, let's rename this to... I'll do a Fortnite reference, because why not? I can't help myself sometimes. I have to do these dumb ideas. Okay, looks like Fatal Fields has produced its first warrior. I don't know where we're leading with this weird road, but I'm sure we'll find some civilization that gets mad at us for invading their land. Okay, so we have another city on the way. We have our settler leaving his city and ready to create a new one for us. He's off to go create Rapture. There we go. Now we finally have the underwater city of Rapture added to our list. Or at the very least, the coastal city of Rapture. Doesn't really make a difference. You know what? Yeah, we'll start pushing out here now, because I want to see how far out the enemy is. Anyone who isn't me is my enemy. Yeah, let's send you over here. I'm going to have this guy clear out this area, because I kind of want this whole area to myself. Yeah. I want... how should I do this? You know what? I want to keep things clean. I'm going to put you there. And you, I'm going to move over here. So you'll notice that over time, it takes less and less time for science to progress. Now you can invest more in science by donating more of your daily currency towards it. So let's go over to the domestic advisor. Okay, so let's say I wanted to invest a little bit more in science. You notice that right now it takes 19 turns for masonry to get built. Let's say I put it up to 80%. All of a sudden, it takes 13 turns. So I just knocked off 2 whole turns of scientific production. Not a bad trade-off, but there is a trade-off there. I go from getting 4 gold per turn to only 1. So there is a trade-off there. Not a big enough one right now to warrant me giving away some of my gold. I don't have much gold to begin with. I only have 218. So I don't want to contribute too much of it to science. Not just yet. Okay. There you go. Gotham. I'm liking this country already. Son, what did you learn in the history books today? Dad, I learned about Gotham. I learned about Riverdale. I learned about Two Fort. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I want my kid to remember when he thinks of history. Since Naboo is a planet that does have plenty of water, it makes sense to have the city right next to a lake. Okay, we're going to build some barracks, because I don't want any more of those health bar people. Okay, let's see what this country is. Okay, Incan Scout. Okay. We're going to see what technology they have, and see what we have, and see what we can trade. Okay, we have the alphabet. Let's see what they're willing to trade. Masonry, the wheel. No, I'm going to ask them, what do you want in exchange for the alphabet? Okay, that's not a bad deal. What do you want for this? Okay. I'm not giving you 200 gold. I'll give you 50. They'll be insulted by this deal. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I'm not giving you 200 gold. Sorry about that. Here, you know what? I'll trade you 2 for it. Will you accept this deal? Bye-bye. Okay, well, we got some good technology out of him. Yeah, I'm gonna send you further north. Let's see what's going up in these mountains. I swear, there is a country up there. You, get away from my border. I'm gonna have my guy stand over here, because I don't like that guy so close to my border. Okay, yeah, start building a road. Okay, so we have finally discovered a empire up here. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm gonna have my guy take a look. Oh, hi. Hi, America. You want to offer me mysticism and you want 140 gold in return. I'm not sure about that. How about you give us pottery and I give you 80 gold. We'll give you 95 gold. 96? How about 91? 91? Do I hear 90? Do I hear 89? Oh, 84. Okay, we can settle on 84 gold and save ourselves 6 turns. I'll take that. Okay, so let's back out of their lands because I don't really want to declare war right now. That would not be ideal. Okay, who are you? Who are you, my green-skinned dude? Oh, the Aztecs. Okay. Okay, it doesn't seem like they're that far ahead of us right now. I kind of want to take a look at the science area and see what we can be working on. I kind of want to swap over to writing. That's going to take a while. Okay, so the default is 26 turns. Let's get it down to 20 turns. Okay, that saves us some time. And we have another city. And we saved ourselves another turn. As you start to expand your empire and more cities are created, the amount of time it takes for a scientific project of research endeavor to finish goes down. You'll notice that it was at 20 turns before and now it's at 19. If I continue adding cities, it will continue to go down, and over time, it'll be easier and easier for me to get more scientific research done. So I'm going to have 1 or 2 of my cities start working on soldiers, and the rest are going to continue producing settlers, just like they've always been doing. Okay, you're going to work on... What are you going to work on? Barracks. Okay, what's up we name you? Oh, you know what? I can't help myself. Okay, Asgard. Well, how did I pass you by? Let's, rename you, shall we? Oh, I know what to name it. Hanamura. My life would not be complete without a good Overwatch reference, and maybe I didn't spell it right, but you know what? I'm gonna let it pass. Okay, so we do have another settler that we can make use of, so I'm gonna bring him down here. We're going to start expanding downwards. Right now we're kind of a little bit too horizontal and I want to go a bit more in the vertical direction. I want to take up some more space up here, and I do want to take up some space down here to the left and to the right. So I'm going to send this guy down to the right and clean up this area here, this box-like area in between Gotham and Naboo. And I'm going to try and get another settler built in the 2-4 area and move them down closer to the coast. Okay, yeah, I get the feeling this warrior is coming along with a settler. I think a settler is not too far behind him, so I'm going to claim this space now. Before I take care of the other settler, I have to rename this area. Because of course one Blizzard reference isn't enough, I have to go for the daily double. I'm kind of torn, I'm not really sure where to go. Yeah, you know what, I like this spot, so I'm going to move him here. Okay, so we have Hogwarts guarding the sugar. It doesn't look like we have much competition to the north, aside from that one encampment from America. I think they're over to the top right of me. I don't think that they've got any land to the left. So I'm going to try and worm my way up there. Okay, so now that we've discovered writing, let's check out what that actually does. Okay, so we gained a new ability, the ability to build embassies. This will allow us to build our intelligence agency and kind of spy on other countries. This becomes more important in later games, but for now it's not hugely important. Also, we can now craft military alliances with other countries. This is a big deal in case I am about to attack someone or am in fear of being attacked, or in the process of being attacked. I can reach out to another country and say, basically, hey, can you help me out? And you can work out a deal with them that would benefit both them and you. Basically, they would offer you military assistance, and usually in that case, you'd give them something like some money or a world map or some kind of object of value. Okay, so next we want code of laws. This will allow us to build courthouses. Courthouses decrease corruption in the city and make the city more resistant to propaganda. In a nutshell, this will ensure that your cities are less likely to be overthrown and embrace another nation instead. Okay, so now we have the option to build up some embassies within other countries. The first one I want to keep an eye on is the Incas. Them and the Aztecs I don't really trust. So let's start building our spy network. Okay, so it looks like America's focusing on expanding. The Aztecs, for some reason, are trying not to expand and instead are working on science. And the Incas, I completely forgot what they're up to, but it doesn't really matter. In terms of space, I'm the biggest country around so far, but in terms of science, I'm among the last. So let's try to grow some more and really improve on that science angle. Okay, 2-Fort has produced us another settler, so I'm going to put them to the coast as well. And here I'm going to build a temple. Now what a temple allows you to do is, one, it does, I've noticed in previous games, help draw in more people to your cities and grow your population count. And also it makes your city more content. Keeping your people happy is of huge importance, and it's a small price to pay when it comes to the grand scheme of things. Okay, we're going to continue our tradition of renaming cities, and this time we are going to name it... Oh, I know. Yes, that's perfect. We have the Isle of Misfits. Oh, is it Misfit Toys? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It's a place from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Wait, no, it's not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, it is. Okay, I don't know. It's one of those old Christmas cartoons that you only pull out once a year and then forget about. Okay, Naboo built us another settler, and that's awesome. Our treasury is running low. That's not awesome. So let's pull back on the science a little bit and bring ourselves back into the green. Yeah, let's put it at that for now. Okay, so that cost us a turn or two, but that's not the biggest deal in the world to me. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and now we have our baker's dozen coming up next. Oh, I've got the perfect name for this one. A little bit of Warhammer humor. Okay, so over here in the corner you'll notice that we do have a couple of resources here that are dyes. Dyes don't really add much to your empire, but they are good sources of income as you can trade them off to other neighboring countries in the area. A lot of countries do tend to pay highly for dyes, so you can usually get a good deal involving them. Like say if I wanted a science, like a technology or something from another country, they're more likely to give you that item if you have resources like dyes. I'm not sure why I named this city after a movie theater chain, but you know what? Why not? We're expanding our horizons. We're no longer using fictional locations. We're now using some real ones too because, well, it's fun. Why not? If any company actually dared to watch my videos, I pity them. And I congratulate them for scouring the internet just to find a video that mentioned them in it. Yeah, KFC. Why not? I don't think KFC was really known for their supply of dyes, but you know what? Whatever. No, I don't really feel like giving you Code of Laws for free. So, take your empty threats and stuff it up with some other country's butthole. Yep, bye-bye. Okay. Since we're in the habit of naming food industries, let's put a McDonald's in there. Now, I know this early part of the gameplay hasn't been hugely exciting, but I do promise you it is going to get far more interesting from here. We have built our first 15 or so cities. We've got Hanamura, we've got 2-Fort, we've got Rapture, we've got Asgard, we've got Riverdale, we've got Fatal Fields, we've got many others. and we're going to continue expanding at an alarming rate. In the next episode, I do plan to take out at least one of our enemy factors. I hesitate because I'm not sure whether I want to take out America or take out the Incas, who I believe are... Which one are you? Okay, they're the purple ones, so they're way out here. They're not particularly close to us. Basically, we'd have to take out... Nope, I don't want to quit yet. We'd have to take out the Aztecs to get a clear shot at the Incas, so looks like Aztecs are the ones that are going to have to be taken care of first. So I'm going to start sending my people down to the Gotham and Hearthstone area. I'm kind of just stack them up there until I'm ready to go in and wipe them all out. But that's not going to be today. I'm just going to plant this one last city and call it a day. Okay, we're going to put a baguette down there, simply to fulfill my Widowmaker memes. If that's not how it's supposed to be spelled, I don't really care, to be honest. Ooh! America's pushing their way down. I'm not liking the look of that. But that's a problem that we're going to have to address another day. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this civilization-free video. I am planning on continuing this in a couple more videos at the least. I think this is a fun game, and it's fun to go back to this world and start from scratch and really build out a interesting empire made of fast food and video game memes. This is WarriorDan. I'm signing out. Stay awesome, everybody, and peace out. I'll see you in the next one.